What's up, guys? No time wasting. Let's get into how to fix this season of Diablo 1. So let's go ahead and go really quickly of a recap of why I wanted to make this video. We had a most recent patch before season 1 on the 18th that basically cut everyone's damage in half straight up. And then on top of that, some classes even took a bigger nerf, specifically like the Sorceress, where, well, before you used to get like triple the amount of bonuses from one of the aspects, giving you 35x multiplicative damage. Now you only get it once, and that is a massive nerf on top of survivability nerfs. So let's talk about what they actually said during a most recent campfire, and I want to talk about how they can fix it. So it kind of makes sense. Let's go ahead and go over what they basically said, because they are apologizing, but they're not really fixing the issue now, and we need this issue fixed immediately, because what are we supposed to do? Just wait till next season if you want to play the Sorceress? So let's go over first off the apology that they issued.
We want to, obviously acknowledge everyone's feedback in regards to reducing player power. We know it is bad. We know it is not fun.
Okay, so if you say we know it's bad and not fun, why would you ever implement this patch? If this was the vision of the game, you got to double down and say we want this vision of this game to be super difficult, but we're going to give you more tools to be able to combat this new difficulty. Not, well, we know it's bad. Well, if you know it's bad, why would you ever put that out in your game? This is a huge red flag. On top of that, they said that they're never going to do this again. And this is on the official Blizzard blog. This to me is a little bit, concerning. However, they are making some steps in the right direction, but this is still very major in the game. So starting right off, let's go over how they can actually fix this season. So starting right off, what they need to do is just revert this patch. Straight up get this patch and say, you know what, it really wasn't what we had in mind for our vision. We kind of overshot, whatever the case may be. You need to completely reverse this patch, and this reverse needs to happen ASAP. It's not wait 2-3 weeks, because what are we supposed to do? We just hopped into the season. Wait a couple weeks after the season launched? What? No one's really doing that. If you're a hardcore Diablo fan, you want to play now. This patch needs to be just completely reversed. I understand that it may take some time, but at the end of the day, we really need this patch ASAP. You can't have your players waiting for a, start of a season several weeks after it already starts. On top of that, I think in good faith, this is what I would personally do if I was in charge and I was able to do everything. Just make the battle pass free. If you already purchase the battle pass, you get it in tiers, or you can redeem it in, the currency, the platinum, right? Give everyone some free platinum, maybe 1,000 platinum. You can't even buy a skin with that. The skins in this game are like way more expensive than that. You're usually like 2,000 plus. So this would actually help sales too. But at the end of the day, give some stuff to the players so they can kind of feel like, okay, wow, this is awesome. Okay, they're understanding our frustration. They're giving us back things to the Diablo community for essentially releasing this patch. It would put them kind of in a better light, so to speak. On top of that, they mentioned that they're going to give us one stash tab. Okay, one. They said an additional stash tab. The chat was going crazy. It was filled with nothing but negativity. And even when I was live streaming the event of them making this announcement, people were just like, one stash tab. And I was like, no, hold on. That you guys can't be right. I went back and I double checked. It says an additional stash tab, one stash tab. That is not enough. The minimum amount that you could give players to make them feel okay, we're going to double the size. Give us 4 more. A good thing would be give us 10 more. If you were to say, hey, we're sorry for, this implementation and whatever, we're going to be releasing a new patch eventually, and it's going to have 10 additional stash tabs. People would be like, yeah, thank you so much, Blizzard. But one, you're going to get negativity. So just make it so we get 10 additional stash tabs. On top of this, just for the debacle of the really rough start because of all these nerfs, especially on the Sorceress, what you should actually do, and I really recommend to be just like, hey guys, here's 1,000 obols to get you guys that head start because we nerfed the game so hard so you guys can kind of catch up. On top of that, Sorceress needs a massive buff, and we'll talk about that in a second, but across all classes, give us like a couple million gold, okay, just for that rough start, because in the very beginning, having this extra gold will kind of expedite the process, and again, it would make people excited to hop back into the game thinking, wow, we just got a massive amount of gold, we got more obols, and speaking of that, I'm going to mention the give us 1,000 obols. And on top of that, the Sorceress. Okay, the Sorceress is in such a terrible spot. A lot of people that were watching my live stream were like, bro, I started rolling Sorceress, and I absolutely regret it. I'm copying your rogue build now. But shout outs to you, because, hey, I was telling you guys, Sorceress is probably a bad idea to start in the season. So the thing with Sorceress is, what are the main problems with Sorceress? Well, they got nerfed heavily in the defenses department, and they were already kind of a squishier class. What they can do for the Sorceress right now to fix the problem, very easy. Just say, we're going to give Sorceress plus 30% armor. We're going to give him also a multiplicative, just 20% or 30% damage right now for this season only until season 2, because right now the Sorceress is in a bad spot for damage, but also in the defenses because resistances are still broken in the game. It's kind of weird that the game came out and the resistances are still broken. So one thing, again, a quick band-aid fix for this, because what are you supposed to tell the Sorceress players? Constantly, resistances will be fixed in season 2 is what they've been saying. But then what if someone wants to play Sorceress now? It's just like, well, resistances, part of your main stat. The main thing that you get for your class is just not going to be applying properly. It's wild. All they need to do, again, with the Sorceress is just give us flat like 30% or 40% extra armor, and the class will feel so much better. And that's an easy numerical just change. Just because in certain classes, like in D3, they just had like certain classes would just take flat less damage. Like most of the melee classes would take 30% less damage. Just add that to the Sorceress and you'd have a much better experience. Another thing I want to go over is the Necromancer. So what's the main problems with Necro? Well, Bone Spear is still very powerful, but a lot of people still want a viable early to like mid-ish game. Like when you go from like World Tier 1 to straight to like World Tier 3, because usually people skip World Tier 2. But if you're just going to World Tier 3 and 4, with a Summoner Necro, the minions just die too often. I really think that they need to look at the survivability of minions. Maybe just make it so the minions have a bunch more defenses. Just give it to us for one season, just so it can be a band-aid fix for the resistances that we still lack, so to speak, in the game in terms of it. I think it would be really nice just to have extra defenses for the minions, specifically for the minion builds, and maybe add just another like multiplicative damage on the minions, again, just for the season. I mean, keep in mind, this is a PvE game. Sometimes certain things can be, really, really strong. Speaking of really strong, they mentioned these builds in season 1 would be stupid broken. I went back to the live stream and found the exact words that they said, and they said that, and I was getting super excited when I heard about this. I mean, this is their words. This is taken from the official Diablo developer update. Let's hear what they said.
Malignant hearts, you can socket them into your jewelry, and that gives you these kind of stupid new broken builds.
New, stupid, broken, okay? So when I think of the word stupid, broken, I'm thinking of things where you could do GR 150s. You guys haven't seen this video is awesome. It's a Diablo 3 video. We did a GR 150 with no weapon equipped. That's the kind of stuff that I'm thinking is super broken. Or if any of you guys have seen the Forbidden build with Diablo 3, this is when they had the Natalias, trap grenades. Like, this thing was insane. You could have a very bad build, you can throw it together, and you would hit for trillions of damage. This was a broken build. For them to say stupid broken, and it does not feel stupid broken, especially at the start. I mean, it feels kind of nice to get these upgrades. It's very, very awesome, but they're not in the category where I'd say this opens up a new door. I mean, speaking of like kind of what the abilities actually do, I mean, if we look at some of these are no better than like a legendary power that we don't even use. We have on a lucky hit, by the way, so it's not even like it activates 100% of the time. You have like, let's say, a 50% chance on a lucky hit, which is high. This would be only a 10% chance to launch 3 grenades that deal 20 damage. I mean, it does apply the stun, which, it can activate other things, but for the most part, this is not what I would consider stupid broken. All of these weak ones, right, maybe a week later, this what I'm talking about right now in terms of stupid broken, maybe give it a week because maybe someone will find some crazy broken build. I've been looking at other streamers. I haven't seen anyone post any super broken builds with these brand new hearts. I mean, some of these hearts, they're okay, but they're not going to be, again, super broken like I was kind of expecting them to be. And on top of that, there still really isn't a huge incentive to play past 70. This is the main thing, and they're talking about we want the level experience from 50 to 100 to be better. One suggestion I have that would be really excellent to really have people push for that level 100, there's some sort of thing at the very end of the tunnel once you start grinding, is specifically doing the Uber Lilith. This is the ultimate boss fight. Why do we have like no special reward for doing it, right? I was thinking, like, what would be actually really good? I think it'd be really cool to have, well, they are actually talked about the unique drop rate being increased later, and I think that this would be exciting to happen right now, because I've been talking to a lot of people that have been coming to my stream and like, dude, I'm skipping this season. You don't want to hear that from the very first season of your brand new game for the people that never played Diablo before. Like, I've played a lot of Diablo seasons. Sometimes their seasons are kind of weak, I'm like, okay, well, I'll check out the next season. But for anyone that's played for the very first time, if the first season isn't super exciting and keeping people interested, they're going to lose out interest on it. I think one really cool feature would be on certain bosses. Maybe if you were to do, let's say, Uber Elias, you have maybe a shard that can drop, and you can get multiple shards to kind of get whatever unique item that you want in the game. So that way, if you have a build, you can get these shards and you can exchange them just kind of like obols, and they could just be kind of semi-rare, like just maybe as rare as a current unique. Or you can get any unique and sacrifice it for a shard, and once you collect, let's say 5 or 10 shards, you can exchange it. There just needs to be a huge drive to kind of push towards like the higher end of the game, and maybe Uber Lilith will then guarantee you one of the Uber uniques. That would be an exciting thing, right? You know, just for this season, just to really get people back into the game, wanting people to play, versus as of right now, honestly, I would say there's a lot of negativity. Having, again, one announcement of storage is just wild to me. Unless they were to announce, guys, we're going to start selling storage, I think that would actually be a negative direction, though. If they were to say, guys, we're going to give you 1 for free, and then maybe on the season journey, you can unlock 2. 2 would be where people go, it's still not enough, right? But 1 is just not enough at all, and I think that in order to win people back, those are my suggestions on how to fix this season ASAP right now. Give us a huge amount of incentives. Again, give us a couple million gold to start off, give us a maxed out, give us 1,000 obols, give us some stuff and some incentives to really get back into the game, or maybe even higher drop chances for certain things. They are going to be buffing goblins as well. So the future, you know, in a couple weeks may be good, but again, when your season launches and there's not that much excitement, people are just like, dude, this season sucks. I've been reading my comments, and you know, in reality, I want this game to be successful. I know I'm kind of complaining here, but I think that they really need to implement some of these changes to see a lot more retention rate and player base, because you do not want people at the start of your season to say this season is terrible, there's too much nerfs, I'm not playing, I'm skipping it. That's the last thing that you want to hear from your community. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this little rant and video, drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new and want to see an update to this, because when they do update, I'll let you guys know how it goes. But take care, and I'll see you on the next video.